And I'll do the intro first. All right, Facebook world. This is Franz Borkart with the Geaux Rouge show. We're doing an extra experimental Zoom episode today. I've got some special folks joining us. This is episode 20. We're doing this for two reasons. One, we wanted to learn how to do this. And two, I wanted a plan B in case I just physically can't get to the radio station, the Talk 107 radio station, but want to have wonderful guests like Abigail, Stephanie, or Jim. So the plan for today is we're just going to have a secondary afternoon episode. We're going to learn some of this, try to get some of the kinks out of it, and then just try to be participatory with anybody that wants to join in. If you are streaming on Go Rouge and you just want to pay attention, comment, we're here to talk, to answer any questions. So we're going to start with Abigail, if you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Stephanie and then Jim.
Hey, Abigail Hamilton here. I own AHA Consulting. My clients include the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society and the Baton Rouge Business Report.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Possa. I'm a local lawyer and friends with all these people. Love to be part of Baton Rouge and be part of the Baton Rouge community.
I'm Jim Urdiales, owner of Mestizo Restaurant here on Acadian I-10.
Now, look, we're family-friendly folks, but this is happy hour. So we've encouraged everyone today to enjoy an adult beverage. Mestizo, you know, it shocks me, Jim, that you're drinking wine and not a margarita. Mm-hmm. Abigail, I respect your decision to have nothing, Abigail. Stephanie is drinking champagne right now. So, all right, so let's kick things off. What is going on in your world, Abigail, right now?
Well, not a whole lot. You know, with all the shutdowns, we have rescheduled most of our events in the community. Really, we pushed it to May and June. I've even heard of one organization trying to do a virtual gala. So, you know, people are really reaching into their creative ideas and trying to come up with some really good ways to still continue to fundraise and, you know, move forward with, you know, some of their events, business or otherwise.
So it's going to be so challenging.
Very.
So as an event person, how do you guys who participate in events, I mean, Stephanie is Miss Baton Rouge events, you know, hashtag bigwigs. What do you guys feel about having virtual events versus rescheduling? I mean, there's no right answer right now. Nobody wants to cancel. Nobody wants to reschedule. We're all concerned about safety. But how do you guys feel about this virtual event thing? Because like I participated in a virtual auction this week, which boded very well for my wife because she got some things she probably wouldn't have been able to get because of the auction being virtual. But chime in. Stephanie, what do you think?
I think the economic impact is a big concern, obviously. I think the virtual idea is awesome, but I think that first of all, we just need to see how long this is going to go on and how hard it's going to be on our community, and then go from there. I think it's going to be extremely difficult because it's really hard when you're doing charity stuff and something like this happens to go and say, hey, contribute to this when people are struggling and businesses are struggling and that kind of thing. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jim or Abigail?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say just, you know, I feel especially people being hit up for donations, and Jim can certainly speak to this, people that donate, people like Jim and other people in the restaurant business or small businesses that donate gift cards, they donate items for auction, food. So it's really going to be a challenge moving forward.
Yeah, actually I did a post yesterday. I was trying to make a light humor, which I think all of you know I have kind of a wicked sense of humor. But I said Mestizo is now booking virtual graduation parties. Because really I'm thinking, okay, we have no graduation for LSU probably on campus and probably won't have many high school graduations. So I said, well, we may as well try and book a virtual thing. Maybe I can get people to prepay and I can show them what they could eat if they came into the restaurant. But I do think I worry about Abby and I will sit on a board together, and that was one of the things we're going to discuss tomorrow is, when we do get back to some sense of normalcy, people are going to all be with more, financial constraints, and how successful will our events be financially, because how much money will people be willing to spend? I think it'll be a real issue going forward.
So what's interesting right now is there's only so many ways people can help right now. We are encouraging people to eat out, take out, or delivery. Today, in fact, is national. There's a national movement for today to be a national takeout day. And then there's a call for people to get masks and donate medical stuff. But beyond that, everybody is being told to hunker down. So there is this sense of, helping out right now is not really a viable option to a lot of people. I know one of the things that we're doing as a city right now is we have the Better Together Baton Rouge, Better Together BR coalition of restaurants. Jim, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is a nice little event that I got to give some credit to Stephen Hightower with Sweet Pork. I just admire this guy so much. He steps up with great ideas, but him and Bistro Buyers, I guess, this really nice idea that we'll come together for restaurants. We're doing percentage of sales today to help feed some of the nurses and doctors on the front line, and just show our support. If we were in a normal world, we're doing catering for them all the time, and they're working. And I'm sure they're stressed beyond belief. So just to raise some money to basically understand that if you go to the Facebook page for it, you'll see a list of new restaurants throughout the country that are going to donate a percentage of sales today. So my brain just completely locked up on the name of it. Abby might be able to jump. We've got
several, and I'm holding up. There's a card right here.
So everybody needs to bear with us because we're all trying to use internet and do this for the first time. So I was just told that my internet is unstable, which kind of sounds exciting.
I think there's medication for that.
No comment.
A lot of things in my life, Franz, that are unstable, but I'm not going to go.
True that. So let's talk a little bit about how life has been an adjustment. It's been an adjustment for everybody. But I kind of want to pick y'all's brains because I know, Jim, in the restaurant business, we know that your life is adjusting right now. Abigail, you're an event guru. So Stephanie and I are lawyers. So, I mean, you're working from home right now. I mean, I know you ran to the office.
Yeah, I'm set up at home, and then I'm homeschooling my daughter at the same time.
So Stephanie, you want to start?
I'm sorry?
Go for it, Stephanie. You're on.
No, I'm homeschooling my daughter. I'm working from home, trying to get out to take a walk every once in a while just to get out of the house. It's strange not to be able to stop off at Mestizos and have a drink and some queso on the way home, or just being able to go in and say hello, or just to even have that option. It's a strange thing for me.
I find the most relaxing time I have right now is actually when I'm in my car on the way to go pick something up. And it's just quiet. I can move around. The Baton Rouge traffic right now is amazing.
I love it.
Yeah. So, Abigail, how's the adjustment for you?
Well, aside from rescheduling, and I do some work for a restaurant up in St. Francisville, the Francis Southern Table and Bar. So, we have a lot of people that are applying for unemployment. So I've been trying to get them, all the paperwork that they need. I have a 1,000-piece puzzle. I've been baking. I try on my jeans before I go to bed, just to check. And definitely doing a little exercise because I keep hearing that will boost your immunity, even if it's a walk or, I have some weights in my house. I mean, I'm used to being super busy as the rest of us are on this panel. So, it's trying to just stay home and stay put.
So practicing law right now for me can be anywhere. I mostly do criminal defense. So if I have my laptop and I have the paper and a pen, I can be anywhere. And I've gotten a few calls today, but everything's kind of slowed down a little bit. What's more challenging to me is actually doing the Geaux Rouge show, trying to figure out how am I going to get guests to do what we're doing right now. Is it insensitive to go down certain topics versus not going down certain topics? Today, talking to restaurants, I talked to one restaurant owner that closed his shop up today, and he was like, man, you don't want to have me on the radio right now because you're not going to like what I have to say. And I said, well, actually, I think people need to hear that side of it. Everybody's trying to be unified and positive, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Absolutely.
So part of that, part of the fluctuation of some of my sponsors have fluctuated because it is just economically where we are right now. Talk Windows 7.3 and Guarantee has been very friendly, though, in terms of letting me go do the show. So the only really big adjustment is I have a 4-year-old that's home every day, and he is a little demon child. I love him. But So, how about you, Jim?
Yeah, this is even funny. I've talked to a lot of restaurateurs, and it's been a mixed bag of discussions. I recall a couple of discussions where some of the restaurateurs, were scared because they didn't have a strong to-go presence, or they didn't have a strong social media presence, and they talked about that being negative. And I am fortunate. Really tailored our menu more for to-go a while back, and so our menu allows us to be more adaptable to that. And I kind of have a pretty strong social media presence as well. I just encourage some of the restaurants out there, if they're not, maybe use these 4 weeks to see what the negatives are for your business so that you can come back stronger and see where you're going to invest your future marketing dollars to make your business better and more efficient in times like this. Because even though this is an extended 4 weeks longer, we go through hurricanes, we go through floods, and we're down for a week. And you want to be able to bounce back and recoup your money, hopefully. But I do encourage some of the restaurateurs just to look at the negatives of their business in this time. Like, okay, is my menu adaptable for family meals? Is my menu, travel friendly? Do I need to change how I package my to-go orders? Do I need to invest in social media to get more of a platform out there? So I always say every negative downturn or something like this is a time to reflect and see what you can do to make you or your business better.
Well, and I think that this experience is going to adapt a lot of people on a lot of levels. I am not a tech guy at all. Everything I do is set up for me for the most part. You can see there's an octopus hanging from above my head in my office. Somebody had to set that up. Also, no big deal, Stephanie. I'm also pointing at the biggest.
And I noticed everybody on here is a crew, a panel of bigwigs.
I don't
Exactly.
Yeah. So my internet's being unstable again. Anyways, so for me, it's learning how to do things like Zoom and ordering components and hardware to where I can literally meet with my clients virtually, do all these things I didn't have to do before. I'm a solo operation. Stephanie has a legit firm that's like real. Tyler Possa, love him. I'm a solo operation. So I am my own paralegal, my own secretary. I have help that I pay a little bit for, but I have had to adapt significantly, Jim. And what I like about what's going on also is I like seeing the restaurants and the businesses that even though they're in competition with each other, they're being highly supportive.
Yes.
I to Chase Lyons, Nick Huff, and the message I keep getting is, look, spread the love. We want you to come eat here. Obviously, we want you to come eat at Mestizo's, but you're not eating Mestizo's 3 meals a day. That's just not realistic. So spread the love, eat, support. The hard conversation is talking to the employees that have that uncertainty right now of they've been furloughed, they've been laid off, and they're like, well, what do I do right now? And I keep telling them, I'm like, well, nobody has any answers right now, which is unfortunate, but where we are. I read an article today about the Advocate having to scale back and reducing its staff. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of happens. But I think back to Jim's point, I think a lot of restaurants are are living that Darwin world of survival of what can I do to adapt? What can I do to make my menu work for a to-go order? The other thing I think that's wonderful about the restaurants right now is everybody I've talked to has been preaching and promoting safety. Safety and cleanliness, safety and, hey, we don't want you coming in right now. We'll bring it to your car. I picked up dry cleaning before we had the shutdown, and the dry cleaning people were like, no, and they just brought it to my car, put it in. So I like the fact that we're thinking not just about ourselves, but we're thinking about others. So that being said, goal setting in this environment, planning what you're going to do tomorrow. Someone asked me last night, what's your biggest goal for today? And I was like, man, I just want to get out of the house and walk around a little bit. So, I'm not a fit, Jim, I can't speak for you, but I know these two ladies are giant fitness people. Like Abigail likes her jeans, and I know Possa likes to work. Okay.
Have you not seen these guns, boo?
Fortunately, Congress hasn't made those guns illegal yet. So, I mean, the biggest thing I've done, I gotta be candid with you, the biggest thing I've done since all this has been going on, and I hate to admit this, Tiger King on Netflix. 7 episodes. And I don't know if you guys have watched this. It has true crime. It has trailer park trash, polygamy, LGBTQ. It has everything in it that you can imagine. And you can't even, it's real, Stephanie. It's real. That's the biggest thing I've done. I mean, candidly, that is what I'm doing these days, in practicing law and doing radio. So what about you guys? What have y'all been doing besides working out to occupy your time?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, I usually work at the office. I typically do the majority of my work at the office, and we have the capability. Everybody's remoted in right now, so we are electronically completely open and everything. And so that's great, but it has been kind of it's been a learning curve for me because I'm a little old school, but it's been good. I'm learning. It's a lot easier than I thought. It's just a matter of me practically doing things a little bit of a different way. I'm a creature of habit. But it's been good. It's been nice to be in my house. It's peaceful, so that's nice. We'll see how peaceful it is tomorrow when Lucy gets home and I have to homeschool her. But it's really, I think it's been a learning curve for all of us because everybody's got to do things just a little bit different virtually for the most part. So if you have to get something as simple as a physical check in the mail to somebody as opposed to paying over the phone, it's okay, now what? It's good.
I got to tell you, thank goodness for Shannon, my wife. She has been homeschooling my child along with my niece, Ivy. If it was left to me, Fisher would be running around in a diaper, like Lord of the Flies right now. It is just it's amazing. And candidly, my kid has lessons. Has to check in every day, and it's school's still kind of going on a little bit. So
it's all virtual. We have distance learning at my house, and they have this app, and they have lesson plans, and they're doing it all.
Abigail,
yes,
what's on the horizon?
Well, and since everything's so uncertain right now, so I'm just trying to plan. I try to take my day and do a little bit of work, whatever that is. If I'm working with Jim for Epicurean projects, or if I'm doing something for the restaurants or for business report, we're trying to stay ahead of the game as best we can. And then a little bit of exercise, a little bit of that Netflix, the Tiger King's on my list. But I try to make sure that, I know we talked about this already, this better together, but I tell you, if you pick these cards up, what I do is I staple all of my receipts to the cards and I bring it with me in my purse. And so I try to make sure I check off the restaurants that I'm going to. So I kind of plan my meals out that way. And I've been cooking. And of course, there's the 1,000-piece puzzle on my table that I work a little bit at each day.
One of the things I think you're going to start seeing, I know Sullivan's has done it a little bit with their come buy some meat and cook it yourself. Pastimes with a cook your own pizza. I think you're going to start seeing creativity. And it may include things like Jim doing a Facebook Live on how to cook something just to change it up a little bit. But Jim, you may not do this, but just to do something different, man. Like I can eat keto-friendly mestizos every day, but at some point, I just want to do something a little different. And I think you're going to start seeing some versatility and creativity in Layton or somebody in one of these restaurants. This is how you cook something that's delicious. And I think people are going to love that. So
I think something that is just such an easy thing for me as a mom, like the make it yourself pizzas, the pastime thing, any kind of kid activity you can do. A good friend brought over some like a cookie decorating kit. Lucy did that last weekend. That is such a winner because kids, I mean, they're stuck in the house all the time right now. So kind of make your own taco, make your own Mexican pizza, whatever you can come up with. I mean, that's going to be a winner.
I want Jim to do a make your own mole.
Oh,
Mole.
Don't be rolling your eyes.
That would be
This is a kid activity. I don't see Fisher liking mole.
I'm going to praise Mestizos for a minute. Mestizos has, one of the few restaurants that really does mole in Baton Rouge.
Yes, true.
And it is legit.
it is.
So Jim, I'm going to imagine that you're constantly at the restaurant right now, right? Which is not unusual for you.
Yeah. And I'm grateful that I have this to come to because I'm not a person that does well staying at home all day. I just don't do it. I literally work 7 days a week, but not all day, every day. But I know I would be stir crazy if I was at my house right now and just would not be able to do it myself. But for my sanity, one of my little guilty pleasures is I am a novice master gardener. I love to be in the yard. I love playing with my plants. And so I basically spent a lot of money the last few days at my nurseries before they have to possibly close because I just want to have plants to play around with and move around in my yard. And so I have done my share between Louisiana Nursery and Clegg's to boost their sales so that I have plants to play with. And, but that's my thing for me that I do to kind of clear my brain. But yeah, I'm grateful that I have a job to come to, and I talked to another restaurateur who decided to close today, and that's his choice. I will say this you made earlier. Now, I mean, safest time ever to eat in any restaurant in Baton Rouge because we are all cleaning probably to a degree we've never cleaned before. I'm talking it's nonstop. You're washing your hands constantly. We wipe down everything after every use. And, I always laugh. We wipe down our menus after every person touches it. And I'm just like, okay, it's just changing or using that same concept in everything. I mean, after every pen gets touched, gets wiped down. And it's a whole different world, but I do think we'll come out better for this. And I do think a lot of restaurateurs are going to learn some valuable lessons from this to, like I said, to either adapt their menu or to look at some of the things they need to do to make themselves better.
So on the show earlier this morning, I told Chase Lyons, and he agreed with me. I think there is this understanding amongst restaurants that not only are you going to do your normal clean practices, but nobody wants to be the kid that ruins it for everybody. Nobody wants to be the unsafe restaurant that triggers panic or triggers the spread of something to where the governor, the mayor, or somebody says, you know what, we're shutting this down. I think that what we've seen on a national stage is restaurants being allowed to stay open for delivery and for to go with the understanding that they're going to do the things you're doing right now. So, all right. So since Jim's not going to teach us how to do mole, I want to change gears a little bit to home projects. You talked about gardening. I got to tell you, my closets have never been cleaner than they are right now. And while I have a 4-year-old that vomits toys all over the place, I got to tell you, I'm excited about kind of some of the in-house renovations I'm going to have of cleanliness. My laundry's never been cleaner because what else are you doing right now? Doing laundry, folding it. And that's not to say that we don't keep a clean house. I'm just saying, I think a lot of people's houses are going to get jazzed up. There's going to be some do-it-yourself projects. So what are you guys thinking about internally in your houses right now that you're going to do that maybe you've been putting off doing?
I just got finished doing a bunch of stuff right before this happened. But I will tell you, my house has never been more disinfected ever than it is right now.
Yeah, I'm working on my closet, and then we're moving on to Mike's closet. So just really cleaning out. I cleaned out everything underneath the bathroom cabinets and in the kitchen, going through everything, just throwing out old stuff that we're not using, sending things to Goodwill whenever it reopens. So that's definitely been very nice.
Jim, how about you? Besides the garden?
Well, going back to that one thing, noticing how busy the nurseries were this weekend, I think we're going to see a battle of the best yards throughout Baton Rouge because so many people were buying plants to be in their yard. But kind of same thing, we've actually tackled the closets, and those are little areas where we kind of just throw stuff, and we're looking at how we can kind of just, get rid of some stuff as well and clean it up a little bit. But man, in the restaurant, we're tearing everything apart. We're taking bit by bit, just going through everything. Even going up into my ceiling, the restaurant's open, exposed. We're going up there and cleaning bit by bit everything. I mean, it's like, what else are you gonna do? So it's a good time to reconnect and clean as much as you can.
That I want to talk about hobbies. Abigail, you're in the puzzle.
I am now. I went. I thought it would be great. Because these are things that we do on vacation, right? Like if I have a family vacation, we pull out a large, really almost impossible puzzle to do, and it's done by the end of the week. So that's one thing. But I also like to do photography, which I've been photographing outside of my patio. And like really just kind of working out. My hobbies include travel. And so that's not a doable thing right now. But maybe tasting a little wine out of my own cellar. So, and that's what we've been doing for fun.
I'm thinking about yoga and acrobatics as a new hobby for me.
No, Jim.
I've interviewed some acrobats, Stephanie and Jim and Abigail, that do like the threads from the ceiling, and I think I think a dude of my size, my stature, getting in there and really tearing up acrobatics could be I think it definitely will get some attention.
I think you'll sell some tickets for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if you did it in a thong, you would really
get to that next level.
Well, I don't know if you saw the post I made earlier. I co-inhabit a household with two individuals, and of the three of us, the two individuals do not care to wear clothes. Well, the 4-year-old, if I told the 4-year-old he didn't have to wear clothes, he'd never wear clothes. Shannon's kind of hit and miss. And so I feel like I'm constantly overdressed right now, and a thong may still be overdressed for my household. I'm just throwing that out there. I gotta tell you, I don't know that I'm at the point in my life at 41 years old that I'm ready to get a thong. I don't know if there's ever going to be a good time for that, Jim. I just don't know. I mean, although if you watch Tiger King, there is a part of Tiger King about branded thongs and underwears that. So okay, so
these are.
It really does have everything.
It really does. So Stephanie, I feel like there's a hobby out there waiting for you.
Oh gosh.
No, not so much. Champagne can be a hobby.
Champagne is a hobby.
Getting into wine right now, the way.
Wine tasting is really
different wines because restaurants can still sell wine.
It's so well. If you've ever done a wine tasting where not even necessarily that you're drinking a full glass, but if you taste them next to each other or different, it's really neat the way that it changes and the palate and just everything that's different about it. I've done some wine classes and it really is a very neat thing.
Right. Well, and going back to what I was saying, restaurants can sell closed bottles of wine right now.
Yes.
We don't have any bars that are open, so maybe you look at Jim and say, hey, what kind of wine you got? And try something different.
He had some good deals.
We have a whole bunch of wines still at the restaurant right now because we were in the midst of changing updating our wine list. And as we went through to reorganize the liquor storeroom, we had about 4 extra cases of things that never even went on this menu. So we basically are moving them out and we're going to start getting rid of the wines that are coming off the list, with, because the new ones will be coming in right behind it. So, yeah, we're using this as almost like a purge at the restaurant as well, like to move stuff out that we know we just don't need in here anymore. So you got some great deals if you want to come buy some of my wines.
What have you seen to be the biggest demand in your menu right now?
The family pack.
Okay, and what's that?
One in particular, it's 8 chicken enchiladas, 8 beef tacos with beans, rice, and chicken salsa. And to me, it's just so old school, but I was shocked that we literally make about 10 of these a day. Yeah, it's really been a big seller for us. We've kind of seen a little bit of everything all over the spectrum. The fact that we're still ordering, seafood and pulling everything in almost in normal, but not in the quantity we were before. But the family packs have sold very, very well.
Good. Well, look, we're gonna wrap this up. Speaking of food, guys, Sullivan's has a fare for 5, where basically for $100 you can feed 5 folks. Great menu item, and Geaux Rouge is doing a giveaway. If you go to the YouTube Geaux Rouge page and click subscribe, chance to win a fare. I'm going to give that away on Saturday. It's got a $100 value to it. So all you got to do is click subscribe. Of course, you need to go eat at Mestizos as much as possible. But give Sullivan's and other restaurants a little love too. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up? We talked about Better Together BR.
Yeah.
Anything else we didn't talk about that you guys think we need to hit on?
I just have to say, I think it's so inspiring always, every time the Baton Rouge community comes together to support each other, whether it's a charity or something like this. I think it's just so great.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with everyone going out to the restaurants, and supporting all of these people. It's wonderful.
So the hardest conversation I had today was someone asked me about gift cards. And they were like, I don't feel comfortable giving gift cards, not knowing who's going to be open, who's not. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? If you don't feel, I didn't want to argue with them. I didn't want to beg and plead. I said, I'm buying gift cards and eating just because I'm optimistic that these places are going to bounce back. I've seen what Jim's doing. I've seen what Sullivan's is doing. I've seen what Soji's doing, Overpass Merchant, Curbside, Mason's. All these places are doing the things they need to be doing to be supportive of the community and giving good quality, safe food. And so, but if you're that person and you're like, I don't know, just go eat. That's all I need you to do. Just go eat at least 2 meals a day.
You can also buy a gift card, even if it's $25. Give it to a healthcare worker who can use it now.
Great idea.
So, or give it to someone, or give it maybe possibly to a family who maybe can't afford to go out to eat. If you know someone.
Great
So
idea.
what I'm doing is I'm going to start. I eat breakfast at La Divina, as you know, Abigail.
Yes.
And I'm going to start buying 2 breakfasts every morning because they do a first responders meal. And I'm going to buy myself breakfast, and then I'm going to leave an extra $6-7 to pay it forward. And I told him, I said, y'all use it wherever you want to. If you want to buy breakfast for a first responder, if you want to put it back in because y'all are doing a cheap breakfast for first responders, whatever y'all need to do. But that's just a small way of giving back. So, maybe your way of giving back is buying a bucket of margarita mix from somebody. I mean, if only we knew somebody that was selling margaritas.
Oh. And they were skinny. Was skinny?
They have skinny. They have keto. They have everything.
Dude, wait. You know what? You got keto margaritas?
Yes.
They have a keto frosé.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Keto cocktails, yeah.
I heard. No.
But you know what? One thing to think about, also kind of go on the point you just said, is for people not to forget that it's very tempting right now to go to Amazon to get items sent to your house and do some shopping, kind of pass the time. And don't forget about your local shops that when this comes back, man, who are going to really, really need your support as well. I think about some of my little, Mosaic Garden, Foyer, and those little places that I love going to, that they're going to need the local support for people to go out and shop and buy and play with them as well.
So what I'm going to try to do on Geaux Rouge is anytime somebody reaches out and says, hey, will you post something? Unless it's not something crazy, I'm going to try to support it. I don't care if it's Red Stick Social and coffee. I don't care if it's something off the wall. We're going to all get through this. So Abigail, Stephanie, Jim, thank you guys for joining us. Now, look, I feel like we were deprived of Wiesel.
We were.
I mean, I signed up for Jim and Wiesel, but I got Jim, which is fine. I'm just saying. So look, guys, I appreciate you guys helping us experiment on this. If you are listening to this, send me some feedback. I know some of the comments I've gotten through text message and otherwise are talking about microphones and all that, and I'll do what I can to fix that. But this is a good first session, and I think we'll definitely do this again. Guys, thank you so much for participating. Abigail, Stephanie, Jim, have a good, safe day.
You too.
Take care.